I mean, is this even a video essay? I'm not sure.
Rightfully no smoking policy on all trains and stations.
Maybe I'm just having a muse. A ponder, if you'll allow me. It's spring. Well, it was spring when I started writing this. It's June now. But I used to say I hate spring. I said it was full of false hope. That it might look nice out there, but it would probably rain and the wind would be too cold. And I did hate it. But not really for those reasons. Spring meant outside, and teenaged me disliked outside. Comfort, then, was only ever to be found indoors, specifically in my bedroom. Spring meant people, events, parks, and holidays. Spring meant people. Winter was for family, for inside, for quiet and solitude, for blankets and tea and TV. Nobody judges you for not going out in the freezing rain or for going to bed early when it's been dark for hours. Transitioning from that to spring to summer, it's change. It's challenging. I like spring now. After living in the warmer parts of the world, I've come to find that the sun gives energy, and that outside is also nature and animals, insects and flowers, and the dark does drain me. Okay, so seasonal affective disorder is just normal behaviour as far as I'm concerned. But spring does still mean people, and people mean socialising. And socialising means risk of social pain, and social pain means... well, it means not nice things, that's for sure. Don't worry, this video isn't about spring.
Oh, so now spring is ableist?
This video is about people, and being alone. And autism, because of course it is. Inside me there are two wolves. One that's always banging on about the importance of community and collectivism, and one that's the exact target demographic for this shit. I want to live here because I hate you all. Oh, when I go somewhere and there's people there. When someone is telling you about how important it is to socialise. Oh wait, I just realised. I don't care. Dear diary, I hate people. Social distancing is easy when you already hate people. I thought I had social anxiety, but it turns out I just hate people. Me on my lunch break, because I hate everyone. Home goals when you fucking hate everyone. There are two types of people in this world, and I hate them. So, how have you been? Me realising I exist and people can see me. Actually, that one I relate to. I'm not gonna lie, the idea of a collectivist, new agey type commune scares the shit out of me. My job on the anarchist commune will be... I don't know. Do we need people to quietly research things by themselves? Is hedge witch a job? Don't get me wrong, I'd still choose that over the hyper-individualist neoliberal hell that is this era of capitalism, but also... I do not wish to be perceived, says a YouTuber. The gall, the cheek, the sheer hypocrisy. I know, but hear me out. There's a reason why this video is like this, with all these weird clips of me out and about in the wild, touching concrete, because this is being perceived. This is me. Doing my job, my passion, in public. Pre-edit. I'm really not exaggerating when I say that this is one of my biggest fears. Incredibly uncomfortable right now. The me in my videos is a version of me. A scripted, repeated, practiced, edited version of me. You can imagine my amusement when commenters decide that I couldn't possibly be autistic on the basis of this curated and designed me. That's not to say that this isn't me. I'm not being another person when I'm on your screens, rather it's me at my best. At my most prepared and able. The me I'd like to be more often. You see, I know how hard I'm trying. You might perceive ease, but I know how hard I'm trying. Because inside me there are two wolves. I'm genuinely jealous of those who can be completely themselves in public. It's like a superpower. And I've judged them. I do judge them. I see a girl taking dozens of selfies, taking up space, posing, pouting, careless of all around her, and I judge. I judge because I'm jealous. What freedom that is. I'm here, I'm beautiful, I love myself, and I'm going to show myself off. I'm going to smile and glow and laugh and dance right here, right now, in front of you, dear stranger. People might call it vanity, but really, it's indifference to your opinion. And that's what you hate. You wish you could be her. You wish you could make a TikTok at a bus stop. I can't even hold my camera up in public. I get comments from people about my excellent communication skills. How well I can explain the complicated, how easily I'm understood. But did you know that until very recently, I was unable to record anything if my partner was at home, if there was any risk of being overheard? I don't know if this is a specifically autistic thing or something that anyone who struggles with social anxiety is dealing with, but this has ruined so many of my creative pursuits, and frankly, I've had enough. Anytime I have filmed outside, I have spent more time avoiding people than I have shooting. In my climate change video, I just walked around in a really tight little circle in a quiet corner of the park to make it seem like I was on an actual walk. Maybe childhood trauma has made me deeply fear public failure. Flashbacks to the time my head teacher humiliated me in front of the entire school because I didn't know that Nan and Gran were synonymous. See, I thought everybody used Nan for their dad's mom and Gran for their moms. Apparently not. In fact, so many times was I humiliated, pointed and laughed at, bullied and dismissed because I didn't understand. I got something wrong, missed the point, didn't catch the joke. Countless times. Way too many to remember. I am hurt, damaged, unable to do the thing I love, the job I know I'm good at, in the full capacity I would like to, because people can be so cruel. It might look nice outside, but it'll probably rain and the wind is too cold. Don't you just hate other people? Shit, that's hot. Misanthropy can take many forms. You've got the eco-fatalists who've decided that we are the virus and deserve to be wiped out. You've got the fascist apologists who insist that humanity's evil nature necessitates the heavy hand of governance. You've got the doomers who have simply lost all faith in humanity. And then you have the introverts, the socially awkward who have had enough of trying and painfully, shamefully failing. Get him, Bobbins. You got him. You got him. Yes. Go Boba. When your hopes and dreams of acceptance and friendship are repeatedly bashed against the wall of social inclusion, then why shouldn't you rage against humanity? It can feel like it's either that or internalise. Hate yourself for always failing, for never quite getting it. Speaking of never quite getting it, I'm 36 years old and I just learned how to do mascara. Look, it's good, isn't it? Also, the internet said I should have a red lip, so red lip. They also told me I should have lip liner, but that would involve shopping, so. It just got loads brighter. Fuck. Also, I hope my hair's alright. It's been ever so dry here. It hasn't rained in weeks. Pretty much the case all over Europe at the minute, I think. One of the more substantial consequences of this is static hair. So if you'd like to support a victim of climate change, then please go to patreon.com/Ponderful. Look, trying to wedge these bits into videos isn't easy, okay? But these videos do not pay for themselves. While we obviously shouldn't be internalising society's failings, it's still kind of easy to understand why some people might just want to go full hermit mode. Simply cease to be perceived. Society is demanding. And aren't we already all so stressed? So tired? Why indeed should the marginalised have to fight their way in, getting wounded, bloodied, or worse along the way? Why shouldn't you hate a world that seems to hate you so much? Why try so hard when all that happens when you step outside of your comfort zone is that your comfort zone gets smaller and harder to leave? Autistic traits being the butt of jokes seems to be par for the course. However, if you are otherwise marginalised, if you're racialised, then jokes is the least of your worries. Only 22% of autistic adults are in any kind of employment, and getting disability benefits on the basis of autism alone is a challenge. I could always manage to get a job. I did alright at interviews and I could mask for a while. At least long enough to get through the probation period. But I never held the same position for long, and never for much more than a year. I've worked at like a dozen or so stores, cafes, bars, restaurants. Everything from Claire's Accessories and Primark, to barista at a beachside cafe, to pot wash at McDonald's. I didn't last long at any of them. My longest stint at one position in hospitality was working as a barista in a cafe. I just had to work the machine, keep the bar stocked and organised, and make great coffee. I got to choose the playlists that played in the cafe, and my interaction with customers was limited. It was a busy place. Docket machine go burr. If I was to leave the bar even for a minute, all hell would break loose. Samantha wouldn't get her ridiculous drink extra hot as she required. And we couldn't have that, so no, I stayed behind the bar, and I loved it. But in my next job, I had to make sandwiches for hotel guests. Subway style, you know, made to order, with the customer stood there in front of you gormlessly trying to pick out a combination of ingredients before they'd even thought about what bread they want. You get the gist. Very customer focused, loads of interaction involved. And I quit before the end of my probation period. I, at 32, had run out of masking energy. And that job, in that hotel, was the straw that broke this camel's back. It was the last service job I ever took, and I know that now I no longer have it in me to be in that environment. It was then that I realised that I needed to be in charge of my work or be unable to work. This channel is my plan for that. Content creation can be a good plan for many disabled people, but it's still challenging and very precarious. So if you do appreciate my work, all jokes aside, there are some ways that you can help support the channel linked in the description. Content creation appealed to me because I felt like it was my only way to fully participate in society, in culture and community, at least in a consistent way over time. But it was, at the same time, a move away from people, towards solitude, towards quiet, and as well, an act of reaching out, of finding, perhaps even building, community. While I do not think that the marginalised should have to harm themselves in order to fight their way in, while I empathise and sympathise with those who have turned off, dropped out and hidden themselves from view, no person is an island. No one can really exist in isolation. Isolation does funny things to the human mind. And no matter how much we awkward introverts would like it to be otherwise, we are not built for solitude. Loneliness kills, and it's becoming endemic. The solution, in my view, is to build the communities we need to exist. Marginalised people have always done this, have always created culture and connections, even throughout the darkest and most horrific times. Autism self-advocacy is like a brand new concept in the scale of history, and all kinds of neurodiverse communities are being formed right now as we speak. I've talked a lot about this already. It's a beautiful thing, but all communities exist within the shared space that is the Earth. Systems, structures, and material change shapes and moulds any moves towards culture, connection, and commonality. No community is an island either. We are circles within circles within circles within circles as part of an always interlocked, ever-changing and fluid whatever that we call human existence. And we are all subject to the forces of capitalism and the dooms it threatens to bring upon us. Building a strong community on crumbling foundations is a challenge. When it comes to certain things, we are all in this together. We are circles within circles, but we all exist within a space. And so sometimes we must look outwards. We must appreciate in society what society never cared to appreciate in us. I think people are fascinating, don't you? I mean, even if you're like, I don't like other people, I don't understand them, they don't understand me. That's fascinating though, isn't it? If empathy is a product of us all existing together in this shared space, yet the double empathy problem shows just how subjective and individualized our experiences of this shared space is, meaning that there are billions of ways of existing, billions of perspectives and realities of this finite shared space. I've always loved to people watch, to make up stories in my head about those bodies that I experience so fleetingly. those figures rushing past? Have you ever gone to a new city or a country and just get overcome by the realization that all these millions of people live here? They live here in this space with their lives so full of complexity and detail. And until right now, you have never really thought about them, and you know that nobody here will ever think about you. To feel a part of something while at the same time being so apart. Are people not fascinating? Is humanity not incredible? Look what we did. Look what we made. Look what we could do. We're so capable. And when we can play to our strengths, when we can be in circles within circles within circles built upon a strong, stable, fair, and just foundation, imagine what we could do. Imagine how good things could be. I don't really care if we're doomed, because if we're doomed, aren't we? We still have to try. We still have to build. We still have to create the future we want. To refuse to do that would be like not living, because one day you'll die. One day I'll die. And I don't want to die hating this world, trying to escape from existence, having never taken up any space, having never showed myself to the world, having never been heard, having never found my circle within a circle. It's probably going to rain, and the wind is too cold. But I don't want to die having never made a TikTok at a bus stop. This video was supposed to end with me doing a TikTok at a bus stop. I had it all planned out. It was going to be beautiful, rousing, a proper tearjerker. But despite all the exposure therapy I did on this shoot, I'm not quite there yet. I knew this shoot was going to be hard. I know how hard a time I have performing in front of people. I predicted that I would freeze as soon as someone came walking up behind me in the park, which happened a lot. People do love to look though, don't they? What's the matter? Never seen a millennial before. I knew that I would struggle holding my camera up, letting people see that I'm filming myself. I did so much practice and in so many different types of locations too, not like in that climate change video. This is the tree that I did nearly all the filming of that video around here. I just kept like using different angles, so like, you know, it looked like I was in different places. Because I have a good view if there's someone coming, and then I can stop and not embarrass myself. Guys are part of my journey, my getting over myself journey. But I'm just not there yet. And I didn't predict how difficult the edit would be. Not technically, although yes, technically it took me ages, patreon.com/ponderful, but emotionally, psychologically. You see, when I'm shooting at home, I control everything, including, or rather, especially, the lighting, the camera angle, how I look. I didn't foresee how triggering it would be to have to edit all those shots of my face with all these different angles and lighting. But it really was, and it was tough. And I just don't think I'm at the being completely yourself in public point. But this shoot did help a lot. And there was actually a point to this video that wasn't just me getting to do a TikTok at a bus stop. I wanted to humanise this creative process. I wanted to show you vulnerability, the cringy, embarrassing, self-doubting reality behind perceived confidence. I wanted to show you the work that goes into my art. And I wanted, as I always do, to maybe inspire a bit of hope. A bit of a reason not to hate the world. As somebody who leans very, very easily into cynicism, as somebody who, as I hope you can see, understands, I wanted to show why a love of solitude or a fear of social exclusion needn't mean misanthropy. This video meant an awful lot to me. Thank you so much for watching it. And one day, I'm doing that TikTok. Seriously, thank you so much for watching. This one was obviously a bit of a different one for me. I'm also working on some video essay style video essays. They're coming up. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, if you liked the footage, tell me so. If you like me, let me know. Check out that Patreon. Thank you to all the people who are already there. You're the reason I have the confidence to do things like this. You are the actual best, and I love you. Bye bye.